the unscripted kayfabe. If you're new here, you can go ahead and like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. A topic that on this platform, this channel, we have not talked about is the topic of the main event of WrestleMania and the whole John Cena heel turn and what happened. We're not going to be talking about breaking on everything from Unreal, but we're going to talk about this a lot of breakdown into WWE Unreal 2. So bear with me. But let's get into it. Take for an idea right here. Take for a thought. You know, we heard Meltzer, we heard Gertz, we heard Sap talk about this. We find out on Unreal that Bruce Pritchard was the guy who said, what if we turn Cena heel? And they clearly mentioned the fact that John Cena's heel turn was just not planned. And their ticket sales were low, which Dwayne already confirmed earlier on the Pat McAfee show. That there's more no news there, okay? There's zero news to that. But we're gonna just discuss how ridiculous in the first place it is. Because mind you now, John Cena's turned into babyface, and this will be out right before SummerSlam. So bear with me. My thoughts here. John Cena was probably not looking forward to a heel turn when he probably came back for a whole year. They had the picture of Cody Rhodes turning heel. But what they miss here is that if they really wanted to turn John heel, which not that many people need to talk about here. Now this WrestleMania was a shit show because Dwayne left nothing for Paul Levesque to work through. John Cena just couldn't tip and dip and whatever the fuck. He couldn't just, take a dip and just go. That was not going to happen for John. Okay, we know that. This was his final year. He was going to make sure whatever the company told him to do. He felt, obviously, they didn't really describe it, that he felt like Triple H was like, hey, man, you gotta say it. You gotta tell me. Don't tell me as the head of creative. I'm not talking about as the boss. What do you feel? Because it impacts everything. He went for it because he obviously always wanted to turn heel. The idea that they really ruined stuff there, and what things that not the WWE themselves and creative team of Paul Levesque, Ed Koskey, and Bruce Pritchard, Michael Hayes and Bobby Roode, they don't understand is that you had The Rock, you had Dwayne Johnson right there, giving him the signal, giving John the signal. I'm gonna put more hindsight and more light at his promo that he cut this past SmackDown on Friday. Burying any thoughts and anything, burying Travis, burying the final boss, burying all of those people. Burying the whole idea that this is not me. Coming back to fruition, coming back to that reality that this ain't me. And I'm going to show you who am I on SummerSlam. That promo with Johnson and Cody was the best thing all that show. We already talked about that show because we're not here to talk about that point. John Cena in his soul, he feels this way. In his legit person, the John Cena human being feels this way. Rightfully so. There's more conspiracy theories out there. This is legit like First of all, Triple H doesn't mention Dwayne's name in the Hall of Fame, which is insanity, because Dwayne is one of those people who started him off as a great pro wrestler, or a great pro wrestling career. Right there. Dwayne was one of those people who elevated Triple H, or elevated the Elevation of both, with their Intercontinental Championship feud that they had in 97 or 98, if I'm not mistaken. You know, things change a lot. Things in pro wrestling change a lot. But you just dip and go. You should go and dip and toe and just get the fuck out of there. No, that's not okay. Hindsight, I expected more of them to talk about Dwayne on this show. They obviously didn't, because they don't have the balls to talk about Dwayne, clearly. And you know how much Netflix is not going to let anything negative be heard about Dwayne Johnson. Was friends with Ted Serranos and what's her name? Barley Bajaria? Yeah. He's friends with those two people, the co-CEOs of Netflix, Ted Serranos and Varla Bajaria. He's friends with those two people. Those two people are the head of Netflix. So you know that you need to expect what you can expect. That ain't gonna happen. Dwayne Johnson is not gonna be mentioned in that way. Dwayne Johnson, on the other hand, yeah, he should be, but they're under Netflix. You think Netflix is gonna shed any bad light on Dwayne and ruin that friendship and relationship they have? And how many movies that Dwayne puts on Netflix? Give me a break. But the point right here is that he gave John the signal. I don't care what the hell. You gave him the signal. He listened to you. They didn't put no light on this. They buried it with John Cena finally admitting that this whole shit has been shipped. And I'm the real platinum rapper. And the champ is here. With the toast with Cody. Real not good beer. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan, man. We got much talk about Hulk Hogan. But it's not about Hulk Hogan. That's another topic. We're not that type of people who talk about Hulk Hogan. This is unscripted kayfabe. As we say, we watch the product and we talk about it. It's off the script, in a way. Shout out to JD. But nonetheless, we talk about something that we have watched. We watched the con is what the kayfabe is, right? More to describe what kayfabe is. We watch the product, the con, and our talk about it is unscripted. We're not scripting this, all right? So bear with me. Going to the point. Going back to that point right there. Dwayne gave John the signal. Now, if they would have waited for it a little bit, done some other stuff here and there, and have everything work out for Dwayne and Cody and Cena. Because, you know, this is just a thought here right here. It's just a straight up thought right here. Cody turned... Oh, sorry, Cody didn't turn, my bad. Cody and Cena would have just head-to-head respectful promos, and then it gets a little personal at the end, sure. And it is all up to that moment. It gets personal. They kind of go a little back and forth on their last promo before the show. But it's babyface versus babyface. To the gerbil, Brian Gewirtz, that idea felt a bit bland. Now, this is how much creative power the final boss, The Rock, Dwayne, brings in. Brian Gewirtz came out and said, "Oh, that feels like too bland." Okay, man, that feels too bland. Oh, man, good job. Great job, Q. Man, I'm sorry. I won't say more about that, but hey, great job. You know what? Fuck Brian Gewirtz. Because apparently babyface versus babyface was never done before, and has never worked. Give me a fucking break, it's worked before. What are we talking about again? Seth, Roman, and Punk all were babyfaces on that night of WrestleMania. Night 1. He just worked the same the previous night, or WrestleMania 41. What are we legit talking about like that, huh? So that's why it really made a big change to them. That this is so important to do that. Granted, I don't run the company, but I guess this was very important to do because apparently Dwayne couldn't make no more shows. Ruining everything creatively. But if they would have just waited, I mean, Bruce Pritchard, man, and he just came out off as very forced and just like, hey, this is how it's gonna be. What if we turn John Cena heel? Like, okay, great idea. Let's hold on that maybe a little bit, huh? You already knew that Dwayne had other commitments. He's not gonna make the show. Granted, he should have not come in and started, and Tetranos, my bad, Ari Emanuel should have never contacted Dwayne Johnson for that reason. But here we are. He did. And because of that reason, then we had a ticket sale problem to making a story that's gonna help. The original plan was, which we have here to discuss, is Kevin Owens going over, which they couldn't see that happening, changing the title as close to WrestleMania. That was the original plan. Kevin Owens was supposed to win the WWE Undisputed Championship on Elimination Chamber. That would have effed up a lot of scenarios for sure, because that really, because he got injured and it was announced he was going to get injured. He was already dealing with injuries. That was not going to last long anyways. So they kind of saved themselves from making another more cluster fuck of a environment. But nonetheless, what they did with the fucking final boss, turning John Cena heel, was not okay, because John Cena didn't turn by himself. He clearly mentioned his promo. I tried to listen to him, and he just dipped in toe. That's it. Bye. I'm out of here. Doesn't matter. If they seriously wanted to really do this better, you build to Cody and Cena, then you go on to Cody and Cena, and then you do it at WrestleMania. Oh my god. Because when you do it with the final boss, and he gives him the signal, then it's impossible for that to work. Because when you already gave him the signal to kick him in the nuts, that wasn't gonna happen. You were not just gonna get over no Dwayne at WrestleMania. That was not gonna happen. People are gonna expect him to be at WrestleMania. People are expecting him to be on the weekly shows. Some of the shows that were coming up when he went to Europe or whatever. In London, people were expecting Dwayne to be there. But that, my god, that didn't happen at all. Hell, he didn't show up at WrestleMania. That's it. I mean, if he, like... Which is like... Wait, was this the whole thing about Dwayne? Who is Travis Scott? He's not a pro wrestler. Never was, never will be, probably. This was not about Travis Scott. This was about Dwayne, and he should have been there. Because there's no excuses for this. He was part of the build. He was part of the story. He and Cody and Cena, they all talked together on that call. They talked together with Paul Levesque, with Ed Koskey, with Bruce Pritchard. They all talked. There was a locked group chat about this. Nothing got out. Travis was also part of that. Nothing got out. It's really mentioned in Unreal. They clearly described this. And they said we went into this what if Marvel cinematic universes. Great. They backed themselves into a corner. Everybody involved here knew what their job was. Dwayne's job was to show up at WrestleMania. He was the one who was part of this. He was just on part of this whole coming and making this together. Coming up with a plan and just, working it with Cody, with Paul, with Ed Koskey, with Bruce Pritchard, with Travis. He was part of more of that. He was part of the segment. He was the one who gave the signal. Obviously, when he does that, you're gonna expect him to see at WrestleMania and help Cena become champion. It's not that didn't happen even. It's that John Cena's heel turn has not even been good. Because his feud with, for example, Cody, we're talking here, right? His feud with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, has not been good. He didn't have a great feud with him. The reason he didn't have a great feud with him because it's what he is doing at that time is taking his anger on the fans and how the fans have ruined everything for him. It would have made so much sense if they would have done the heel turn at WrestleMania, because the next day he comes out on the Raw after Mania and says, I needed this. And you people are not going to understand this. I had to do whatever it takes. This is my final year. You have booed me my entire career. Go ahead, boo me if you want. I am the greatest of all time, and I need this. That's how it should be. That's how it should be done. He goes out and say, I needed this win. I took the help from The Rock, the guy who I feuded with, and the guy who I never liked. I sold my soul to him because being 17-time world champion, the longest reigns in the wrestling, not just wrestling, sorry, not wrestling, WWE, in this company, or pro wrestling, whatever. I needed to pass Ric Flair. I needed to pass that thing because this was bothering me. I needed this. You people understand that I needed to become the 17-time world champion. And I did what I had to do to Cody to get them. And you can boo me, as I said, he said that what I've said before about it, as much you want, because majority of my career you have booed me. I have fought through that, and I had not said anything about that because it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me because I don't look at you lowlifes. I look at children who actually adored me and loved me. I don't look at people who just have nothing other than to hate people for no reason. Because they don't connect with them. They're not their favorite character. They're not too cool like Hulk Hogan was in WCW when he turned and dropped the leg drop on Macho. Just think about the promo he cuts, what I'm saying out of my mouth right now. Imagine if he just cuts that promo right there. You weren't cool enough for me. Why was it cool enough for you? I looked at the kids. I looked at everything. I don't care about you people. You want to boo me? Go ahead, boo me. I don't care. I did what I had to do to solidify my legacy as the 17-time world champion. Because I just can't do it myself. So yeah, I got that help from the final boss to do it. And you can say a line which they might not cut, maybe they do cut. You can say, "You can go fuck yourselves." Mic drop. Great promo right after Raw after Mania, and like hot crowd. Heel turn justified. Then he can go on to say, "Hey, you did this." He can be more, a bit subtle to the stuff. He doesn't just go out and say, "Oh, I hate you," because what really affected his heel turn, the after Mania, was just him berating the fans and all the shit it was saying just didn't feel right. Mentioning key moments where he was booed. Confronting Punk about it. Subtle. Be subtle and dangerous. Wear a Dutch, don't wear it. I would say he keeps his gear on because the way I described his heels are, this is more creative than they did it. Because the way they did it, it's not as creative. And that goes back to the Unreal documentary they put out there. And that episode called The Heel Turn. There's a whole episode right there about that. And how they locked the information away from any dirt sheet, Sap, Meltzer, Nick Hausman, PW Insider, Body Slam Net, every dirt sheet out there who reports on professional wrestling for WWE, for AEW, for any wrestling organization out there, called it. They kept it safe. They kept that thing safe. In a box. In a legit box. It was tight locked. No information got out there about that. Heel turn is always going to be great. But what came after that isn't always just blame on WrestleMania. It's about how you're addressing the fans and how you're not subtle. You just keep blabbering about everything that you're just saying stuff off your chest. Great. The moment where he felt he was a great heel was a pipe bomb promo that reincarnated of CM Punk. The reincarnation of the pipe bomb from 14 years ago. Damn, it's been that long. Man, time flies indeed. That reincarnation of the pipe bomb made him feel like, okay, that's some great heel work right there. That was the best heel work he did in his entire run so far, other than turning heel. And yeah, Dwayne is part to blame for that, for it not working, because he's supposed to be alongside with him. Travis dipped and went away because apparently too much hate got to him and he couldn't handle it. Dwayne went on to film more production stuff. The Life of Mark Kerr, A24 Productions. Great stuff. Give him his flowers for that for sure when it comes out. But all this Unreal really revealed to us is nothing. We already know much about it. This was probably one of the most let down episodes, which was just like, okay, the heel turn. How was it done? Got it. This is how it's done. This is how it's done. Bruce was the one who said, what if we turn John heel? Great. Great. Now, what do? You have any plan for that? You have any plan for what he's going to do after WrestleMania? What he's going to say? You have nothing. You didn't plan anything. You didn't plan ahead. That is just baffling and ridiculous. The promo I cut that John should have cut. That is the way they should have done. He wins at WrestleMania with the help of the final boss. And he is not going to just go out saying, you know, you have really been awful to me right away. That's not what we're doing here. We're going to make him feel like he needed this. He needed to win the 17th world title. Because he just can't do it by himself. So he says, I apologize, but I needed this. Fans gotta judge him, huh? What do you mean you needed this? What about all the whole hustle, loyalty, respect? It's a great character right there. It's a great, desperate John Cena. A desperate character for John Cena. To do whatever it takes to win the world title. Build them as baby faces. Go head to head with great promos. And say, hey, I needed this. All that's what you had to do. Well, that will be it for, more about that, but more I'm going to describe again. The Unreal, everything they really revealed on Unreal was nothing more than you already knew, first of all. John Cena's heel turn is probably one of the worst heel turns in professional wrestling history. The run we're talking here. It has been lifeless. There's no emotion into it. It's, I'm gonna ruin pro wrestling. Great. Anything else you got? Nope. That's it. But the way I described it, if they did it that way, that would have been great. But nonetheless, that would be it for the unscripted kayfabe. I just say the kayfabe is the con. We watch the product, and this is off the script. This is not a scripted talk here.